Welcome back, one and all, and welcome to Dreamworks, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your humble dungeon master, August Schmid, and with me, as always, are the wonderful members of the Peacekeepers. Say hello, Peacekeepers, and one additional guest star today.
Right! I don't know how I forgot about that. I was literally there with you guys.
Yes, we have a fun guest star joining us today from one of the other parties. As of course, to introduce, we have, in order as I'm seeing them, we have Adora, played by Elle. We have Minareth, played by Lonnie. Gingy, played by Becca. Shen, played by Tice. And Valka, played by Megan. And of course, we have our super fun guest star today, Hannah, guest starring as her character Elizabeth from the Mountain Campaign, or the Harbinger group, which we will get to in just a moment. No worries on that front in my sneaky stuff I have done.
Guys, for level 5, I finally get a second attack.
Yeah, level 5. Everyone's got second attacks now. It feels good. Third level spells, 2 attacks. I know for Shen, getting that like extra 4th level in a rogue feels good. But indeed, last we saw your party, you all headed off into the mountains, finding yourself at Baldur's Haven, not to be confused with the amazingly popular, though less known, Baldur's Gate or whatever. But indeed, Baldur's Haven, you met yourself with Jurgen, the chieftain there, who, of course, privied you to the knowledge that, yes, there are standing stones that are kept secret by this village, known as Frigg Standing Stones, but also that in slaying the Jotun that you encountered, you have become marked by any Jotuns in this plane to understand of your location.
But we didn't get cursed!
But you didn't get ultimately cursed, as indeed, thanks to Shen and Minareth's careful thinking climbing the mountain to start an avalanche, with Adora, Gingy, and Valka's heroics on the ground, you were able to take out all of these Jotunar that attacked Baldur's Haven, keeping the village safe, and indeed also, Adora, freeing your steed Swiftwind, the Pegasus, who is quite the character. You love to see it.
Thank you, Gingy.
Thank you, Gingy, of course, for using your cookie arms to break the lock. As we enter then into tonight's adventure, we are picking up directly where we left off. As the final echoes of the fallen body, the Jotnar lie still, their bodies already decomposing into strange crystalline structures and corpses that dot and pepper the landscape. Swinging back around with your companions, Adora, all of you would alight and find yourselves in the base of Baldur's Haven, quickly realizing that Minareth is not with you. Instead, Adora, you would be able to fly up and see Minareth is encased in ice atop that mid-jump position, as Minareth almost died last time, but thankfully, of course, was able to battle her way out of death. I'm going to say, though, of course, because she was able to succeed, Adora, it doesn't take too long in kind of cracking the ice down, bringing her down, and as you all use small fire cantrips and just, natural flame, Minareth will soon be up at 1 hit point. For the rest of the party, I will now then ask what you would like to do now that the Jotun seem to have been, or the Jotnar seem to have been taken care of.
I mean, we should probably head back inside and talk to Jurgen, right?
Probably
To go talk to Jurgen.
And probably get Minareth up from more than 1 hit point. And
I'm sure she would appreciate that.
Very much so. As we join in then, all of you can start heading off to find Jurgen, and within very little time, you will see Jurgen and the rest of the forces of Baldur's Haven, who are now finishing putting out some of the literal fires outside of Baldur's Arms, and almost you can tell there is an air of relief amongst the men and women who are fighting here, and also deep respect as many people are starting to cheer for you as you pass. Some are silently weeping and wiping tears away in the frosted land. You will see Jurgen, who looks a little like soot of face and definitely smelling of campfire, but very much alive. As you approach, Jurgen just outstretched. Well, praise Thor, we're alive. Against 11 different Jotnar. You have my undying gratitude, Peacekeepers. And you see at this point, he takes the knee, both knees down, offering that salute to you all.
I mean, I should tell him, we owe you for the warning. It was the time to plan that helped us.
Right, but we didn't do much. I mean, for heaven's sakes, Lord Shen over here brought down half the mountain on him. And
I kind of put a hand on his shoulder, like, you do not need to kneel for us.
Well, I think I should kneel in the presence of a Valkyrie, though. I mean, you and your steed, you see Swiftwind, like, starts kind of flex posing that, like,
stop it! We can't get like that again.
Doing that little flex horse pose. But you see Jurgen just, please, I can't thank you enough. Is there anything we can do for you? We owe you our very lives. This city, as he kind of points back underneath the crest of the mountain, would not be here if not for you. Anything you desire.
We probably need to get Minareth healed up.
Some time to rest
some time
and
to
recover
rest.
from our wounds would
Of
be
course.
nice, but then we will need your guidance to the Standing Stones.
You see there is still hesitation in his face when you say the Standing Stone, but he kind of swallows and just, of course, let us head quickly to, we have some medical tents that were prepped just a few minutes back. He'll start slowly getting you all quickly there. Because again, not just Minareth, but I think everyone has some sustained damage to a certain extent. It's not bad, but it definitely is that, like, we shouldn't immediately be rushing anywhere. I will say then, for lack of a better term, we will make a Constitution saving throw as to heal off some of these wounds. You're gonna need the long rest if you can get it. There is still that. We're gonna roll and check some stuff here.
No.
Give me half.
Is an 11 enough?
Is an 11 enough? Well, let's see. For Minareth, an 11 is perfect. You're good on an 11. We'll start with then Shen. What did you get for your con save?
16.
Shen, you are good. You're healing up well. Minareth, you are healing up well. Do we know what Gingy got? 7. Hey, Gingy, you love to see it as 7 is exactly what you needed. That was looking bad there for a second. But well done. Gingy with a 7. Adora? 18. Adora's fine. Valka?
6.
A 6 does not do it for Valka. You can only take the benefits of a short rest. Meaning, so some of your stuff may not be back right now as a Blood Hunter, but you should be able to probably get back up to full hit points. As you reach the medical tents, again, heavy salves for burns, frostbite, everything in between. It's definitely that feeling of, like, you would assume it's a modern hospital. Again, Baldur's Haven, they are very medically advanced. So, like, there's a really good sanitation where there's just a whole section of, like, let's get you cleaned off from all the, like, burning tar, sap, oils, everything. For Shen and Minareth, that slow, like, we got to get you guys warm, slowly increasing your body temperatures. And also you see Adora. Swiftwind is getting medical attention. Swiftwind actually did have a point of exhaustion. He was being kind of kept awake, shall we say, in the cage. Really not a lot of rest. And so he definitely, thankfully, is looking way better. Full hit point, no exhaustion. As he's now doing much better.
Definitely feeding him apple slices.
A lot of apple slices, cutting them off, throwing them over. before long, the third day seems to pass, and Jurgen will look at you all just, you're welcome to stay at my home. Let's get you some rest before we can arise in the morning and talk about preparations to make for Frigg's stones. And as he brings you back to his home, all of you seeing the statue of Frigg that was outside with her outstretched hands, sleep will envelop the party, all except for Valka this evening. Valka, your mind is alight with just war. Seeing the Jotnar fighting, you have such PTSD tonight of just fire and ice and everything that it really is almost yourself that keeps you awake, not just the nightmares, just how we're going to flavor it. But you are able to still get a good couple hours, all of you taking time to eat and drink and sleep before we arise on the 4th day of the month. As you awaken, Jurgen will be there, and you see his wife Helga is already, she's not making like a breakfast, but you see she and Jurgen are both like packing foods. You see there's a lot of different like meats that are being prepared, different like small like, you would think they're rice cakes, but you might consider them like a hay cake, something like very packed stuff. Jerkies and different dried fruits are quickly being given around. When Jurgen sees you all approaching and awaking, he's gonna beckon you all over. He's right. How did everyone sleep?
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Glad to see you're all doing much better than yesterday. There's not a lot I know how to start by talking about the stones. I mean, since none of you grew up here, I can't just begin. More, what would you like to know? I can probably fill in gaps to help you along your path.
So you said it's specific to each person, correct?
Yes. Inside the stones, you're looking at... No one's gonna see the same thing, but you might see similar things. And you realize a lot of this is... It's not that Jurgen doesn't want to tell you at this point. You're noticing it's hard to describe something that is such a part of their, like, religion and custom up here. It's like, how do I just describe to someone how I feel and what I've seen? But he's
you
like,
can like give us directions to get to them, right?
right. Once you head out of Baldur's Haven, you're gonna follow the main road. Now that I think the storms have passed, your first path, you're gonna take a left. The next, another left, then a third left, then a fourth left. Now, you're not in a circle, I promise. But
That's
once you've taken the fourth left, you'll be entering into a bit of an area with the standing stones. Just trust the lefts. Don't think you're going around, because if you start going around, that actually means you're in the right spot. It's a tough question. So... Yes, that's the general directions.
Is there a way that we can... Sorry, I don't know how to put this. To be as sensitive and respectful as possible to your people and the students. Any other prep work we're supposed to do?
Well, I mean... The real prep work is being born here, lived your whole life, attend frequent trainings, everything from social to spiritual to physical guidances, from elders. You done enough. I give that blessing as chief that you may enter and may you be in the God's hands. Now, you have to be warned, the standing stones are more than just things you see. It's about what you're asking for.
Gotcha.
And kind of, he gives that, again, very cryptic, like, open-aired, like, and that's what it is. But yeah, any other questions? Just...
there an average?
I'm so sorry. The video cut out on y'all then, so I can't see if someone's trying to talk.
You're good.
I was just gonna ask if the group has ever tried to do this at the same time before.
That's a good question.
You see Jurgen kind of nods. Oh, we've had a couple of people that have gone at the same time. It's not unheard of if you have twins, friends you grew up with that you both time it. People of different races, creeds, genders, even religion. It's not unheard of. It's more just the five of you are not from here is the weird part. We don't know what's gonna happen if you go. So.
It's just we'll have to see.
Shen, sorry, I know you were unmuting. Did you have a question or something you want to ask?
Wasn't much of a question, just more of a Shen's good to hit the road then.
Gotcha. The idea of that sounds like a good amount of stuff. Let's hop to it. I will say, unless anyone has any other questions, we can now make for the standing stones.
Oh, this is asking the DM, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, yeah, DM question.
If I've already asked this chieftain of anyone who has come through his town asking about Eternia.
Oh, right, yeah, we haven't yet had that conversation.
Okay.
You see, he'll say, Eternia.
Or
Well,
Etheria.
We did have. There was a young woman that came through months ago.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was one of those things that we kind of gave her some food and she seemed very keen on getting on her way.
How young was she?
Oh, young adult, able to make her own decisions. That's why we didn't offer her to let her stay. I mean,
Right.
she did seem very keen on leaving.
Did she give a name herself at all?
No names. Simply asking, like yourself, about this Eternia. I can't say I heard of it before. Is this like a creed or a?
It's another plane.
Oh, planar creatures then. That makes sense. No, no. She came and went. Not too much discerning, really. She was made for the weather, I will say. She seemed to have clothes and provision, so I don't think she was.
What did she look like?
Hey, I'm gonna make a quick history check
Okay,
for
I was
that.
about to say, I've been asking so many questions, come on.
Well, and it's been a
filter
while,
out.
there wasn't a lot to write home. Oof, that's not great. I'm so sorry,
Can I get
not
a help
much.
action?
I'm already allowing the help action, if that makes sense. Or the, prompting of. You see, he goes, all I know is she was just very keen on just persons. She said she was traveling. It sounded like maybe she was heading back towards the Ilvanor, but I mean, at that point, you could take the.
Was she particularly jaded?
No, amiable.
Amiable.
Yeah, amiable.
Short?
Nah. Well, no. No.
I kind of give and this is where I'm trying to help narrow it down of is it Mermista or are we talking Frosta?
Well, you
Yeah.
see, I will say at this point, on an 8 history,
Yeah.
he's, it was so
That's
long ago,
alright.
and it was such an in-passing where he's like,
You're
the attorney again is what helped clicks that, right, no, there was someone, but
Yeah.
this young woman who looked to be of, choice-making age that, yeah, she didn't want to stay, but, she looked like she could handle herself, so have fun, is kind of, all he's got there.
Alright.
What I will then say for the group as a whole, as we, you guys are looking much more healed. You've got your packs, steeds, and of course you now have Swiftwind. So either Gingy can have their own steed, or you could leave a horse with Jurgen, who can eventually get it back to Ilvanor. I guess that's up to Gingy. Do you want your own horse? Very fair.
So fair.
That's very fair.
Valid.
I'm not sure how much I could control the reins. I could try. I guess I could just follow behind.
It's just, again, for anyone that would look, it's like, you know, steed, Pegasus steed, riderless steed, like, because Gingy, like, once you get into the saddle with all the cushionings and everything, you are just, like, nested in. So it's actually, I guess, decently safe. But without much further ado, we will make for the Standing Stones of Free. I'm going to roll a quick kind of, I won't call it luck check, but it's more of a time check. Wait, there we go. Okay, interesting. +2 for the natural. The journey actually is pretty slow going. We are almost at the 11th day, almost a week later, as you guys head forward. Because again, once you hit that, like, yes, we're at that place, and start traveling, you will start realizing what Jurgen said of, there's so many left turns that you feel like you should be at Baldur's Haven already. But within a couple days, it's that, and yet the scenery is brand new. And nature itself sprawls before you in vastly new shapes and colors. The ice seems to refract in that prismatic across the mountains. And I guess they're right. You just have to kind of trust that intuition. Before too long, though, even though I'd say a week before too long, you will all passively see in the distance a large grouping of trees that now extend much higher than the usual pine and other coniferous trees in the immediate area. They seem to be risen giant oaks up, almost what we consider that redwood in thickness, but not nearly as high. But then the canopies become that very willow tree bending down. For those tree enthusiasts, technically a tree that shouldn't naturally exist because the trunk is so big, it's not getting the support it should need, and the branches aren't nearly what should be classifiable as providing, safety for the plant itself. And yet, these trees mark a very magical occurrence. As we approach, I will need everyone to make me a wisdom saving throw and then a initiative roll.
Gross.
4 on that wish save?
Alright.
Just out of curiosity, is this gonna be one of those spell or magical effect things that'll affect my my weapon advantage and stuff?
No, actually, yeah. Nothing to that effect. So we'll start with our wisdom saves before we hit our initiative.
Oh, I did not know.
So let's see. We have going down, as I see, Gingy, that is an 11. For Shen, that's a 17. For Minarith, that's also a 17. And for Valka, what did you get?
You're sure I don't have advantage on this?
Nope.
That's a nat 1.
A nat 1. Ooh, you love to see it. Here we go. Now we're going to start looking at our initiative rolls. So once again, Shen with a nat 20. Alrighty, I get it. Gingy with a nat 1. Alright, you love to see it. Adora, what was your initiative?
17.
Oh, 17. I see that now. Thank you. Minarith with a 6 initiative. Valka, what did you get for your initiative?
18.
That will let Shen go first then for everything that's about to occur. Let me quickly pull up. Perfect. Shen, as you walk your horse in, all of you get that feeling, or ride your horse in, all of you sense the magics in the air. The air becomes lithe and playful. The wind, although cold, just a bit sweeter in the nostrils, as starting to step into this ring of trees. Each of you will notice that your party members are gone. Indeed, if not for the steeds you were on, you would think you were in a new place entirely. While riding through, I don't know why I keep saying walking, you find yourselves in a strange scenario where the path before you is blocked by a rather large stone, maybe 15 feet in height, not very wide, maybe only 5 feet, and yet it is in the middle of this path. The path is a odd choice of words, as it's more or less just where there's no trees. Looking at the stones before you, you will notice that they are carved with runes that seem to glow and dance in the light. And as we look in upon this scene, I will ask Shen, what is your current emotion you are feeling right now, Shen? No words. In which case, we will hold Shen's turn for just a moment and instead move to Valka. Valka, as you find yourself in this stone, what is your emotion right now?
I think it's hard to place. I mean, like, when you're entering into an experience like this, there's always a little bit of apprehension because it's that, like, we know there's going to be, like, some big experience here that's, like, gonna happen inside my mind. Like, I just kind of saw everybody disappear. It's like, okay, it's starting and I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. But again, because of my backstory and everything, I also wonder if there's a bit of a sense of, like, familiarity here. Like, almost that deja vu of, like, it strikes a chord that, like, something makes sense here.
Something makes sense. Familiarity upon apprehension.
Yeah.
As you feel this, the stone on your Nat 1 wisdom save is going to show you something. As the rough rock, once gray with runes, starts to subtly bubble and become glass-like. Almost that obsidian sheen, looking into a mirror that is simply reflected due to the lack of light. Upon seeing yourself in the mirror, you will then notice you are not on your steed, you are standing. Valka, this is where it might get a tad personal. What is your biggest fear?
Especially with that, family being dead and everything, I think her biggest fear is that, like, not going to Valhalla and having that reunion, but that, like, oh no, you die of sickness or something and end up in hell and just, like, as one of those, like,
you didn't die on the
land
battlefield.
spirits that just, like, the worst afterlife. I think it's a bad afterlife that she fears.
As you see this bad afterlife, you see the reflections start slowly appearing. Very Mirror of Erised, if I were to steal, completely unashamedly. But as you see faceless spirits appear behind you, whirling around, you find yourself in this hell. Singular L. singular L, so that's
Yeah.
Yamir. The world is gray. The cavernous ceilings above, with the ashen floor below, seem to just extend into the doldrums. The very world itself seems hollow. And as you sit here, you will hear a voice of a woman who strides in between the differing spirits like a shade herself. But you immediately recognize this as the statue or your current perception of Frick. As this woman strides, you see she too is in a very Nordic battle armor, furs and cape. Strides and simply says, "For one acquainted with death, why do you fear it?"
It is not death, I fear, but their own kind of death. A meaningless death.
What gives death meaning, or what takes away its meaning?
The cause of the sacrifice.
See, she stops in her walk. Interesting. And what would you say, Valka, for one who has sacrificed so much? Does your initial sacrifice predate further, or does your life simply hold no meaning until you have sacrificed the ultimate?
I don't know.
You see, as she stops, she doesn't turn towards you yet. Then you are truly damned. For you will sit here and never find what you seek. Valka, as she says that, we move now from you to Adora. Again, the initial scenes have taken place. The rock stands before you, Adora, on a 4 wisdom save. I too would ask, what is your biggest fear?
Some of her fears have already come to fruition. Losing her loved ones. She's gained new loved ones in this party. Being powerless to help anyone.
Powerless. Adora, you stand amidst flame as to the rock suddenly reflects your face and fires. Around you is trees, vegetation, maybe a settlement all in flames. Very odd, yet oddly familiar. Before you is a singularity. Simple nothingness pulled ever inward upon itself, and in your hands is the sword of protection. As you see it whole in front of you, you will hear the voice behind you, and I'll let you decide if you want to turn, but a woman's voice says, "As you fear loss, as you fear this great failure, I ask you, does failure predate further failure? Can your life truly become something until you fail? Or is failure merely the end?
Isadora sits there and she thinks about all the times she has failed, which are many. Leading up to the biggest failure of breaking the sword and losing her friends from Eternia. But then she thinks on to every aftermath. It got better. And if it didn't, from Mara's example, it's worth to keep trying. She says out loud.
You say this, you feel a hand alight on your shoulder, and as it follows across your back, the figure steps in front of you, blocking the scene, so you simply see Frigg's face. Her eyes are sparkled lightning, golden and brown both entwined that shockingly pierce in. Betterment will come. So will failure. You are not Mara. You are not Eve. Who are you?
If I'm not either, I'm not Shira. And this is where I think in this moment, if she had not met the party, I feel like she would have nothing to say.
Mm-hmm.
She would not know who she was. But then, the party comes to mind. Genji, Valka, Minareth, Shen. And then, old friends too. Glimmer, Bo, Catra. I am Adora. I got pulled through a portal. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to protect those I love and those who I do not know.
As you speak this, you will feel something change around you. As the world slowly stops, Frigg takes a step back and you are both in a clearing. Many different stones line these large monoliths of gray. She nods.
I smile.
You're quite different from Mara. She came here many times before she left.
Really? What was she like?
Impetuous. No true desire for magics, but deep love for her family and friends. With a great choice before her. As we cut away from that, we see Minareth. As Minareth, again, the stones before you, everything as it played. Instead, Minareth, I have a different question for you.
Oh.
What is your greatest desire?
Oh. I think it would be to know what her part is that fate has in store, and to know that she's achieved everything that she needs to. And maybe to find out more about the moon and everything.
Got it.
But she has so many questions about that now.
Minarith, as you think this, once more, black glass envelops your vision, and you find yourself standing in that strange frozen wasteland before you met the party, Keld maybe in the distance, but before you, a crescent moon, high in the sky, silvery white, not red, as walking out from the mists of the waste, Frigg approaches. And what should your heart desire, if what you desire is folly? If your aspirations and visions come to naught, and you see she waves her hand, the moon disappears, the lights grow dark, everything seems colder. What do you stand to gain when you have nothing to gain?
Everything. If I have nothing, then I have everything to gain.
See, she smiles. As she turns, Minarith, you too are standing amongst the stones. Adora, having stepped out blinkingly, not through rock, I should add, but as if you walked in between some archway. Minarith, you see Frigg standing, turned towards you. Daughter of the moon, Nephilim by birthright, you have much to gain. But this is why you should be afraid. The world before you stands in need of many roles to be filled. But it is your choice which you fill.
Thank you.
As we cut now to Gingy. Gingy, the rock before you. A third question, much different than the first two. Why are you here? As you say this, you will hear then, as the glass transforms, you find yourself on a road. A road that stretches before and back, no turning, no signs, no cities, no trees, no landscape. The sky above, a neutral blue, the ground below, a hard, earthy brown, grass to either side, almost up to your head. As you stand there, you will see then a woman far off in front of you. But Gingy, as she speaks, you hear the same voice and turn. Standing behind you, equidistant from you, from the one in front. Frigg speaks to you, Gingy. Running requires action, and action requires intent. Your intent on running, Gingy. Should you run, will it be forward or backward? And you see both hold open the hands like the statue in Jurgen's house. And Gingy, you are faced at this proverbial crossroad.
I'd like to run forward.
I will actually say, Gingy, as you think that, which way was forward?
Progression?
Mm-hmm. You have progression. Gingy, you have a left or right. You don't know which one was where you come from or which one is where you're going.
Can I make an insight check or something? I want to see.
I'll allow it. I'll allow an insight check.
Right. Never mind. It's an 8.
Gingy, you feel hopelessly confused as both directions are now the same. In fact, as you turn, suddenly you realize, wait, which was left and which was right? Both seem identical, symmetrical. Your mind feels split as you wish for progression, but which way is forward and which way is backward?
Do I recognize this woman?
This is Frigg, the woman standing before you,
Oh.
from her statue. Yes. I will say, Gingy, as you contemplate this, we will cut back to Valka. As you stand here, Valka, here in this proverbial literal hell, Frigg does not look at you, but merely repeats, "What is your sacrifice worth?"
I may not know what my soul's fate will be. I may not even properly remember what I sacrificed. But I know it was worth it. Of all my regrets, that one won't be one.
As her face slowly turns, you will realize Frigg's face that you saw now seems to mirror that of Hell, the woman in charge, as half of her face towards you is Frigg, the other half this terrifying, grotesque woman. Frigg speaks, though. Sacrifice demands cost. Regret completely annuls sacrifice. Should you regret it, you never truly lost.
I already said I don't.
As Valka, standing, blinking into the soft light now of the circle, Frigg, now her whole self, stands between you, Adora, Minareth. You will still lose much. And it may not be Hell or Valhalla waiting.
What more can I lose?
As you say that, she looks at the three of you assembled, Adora and Minareth. Everything. Gingy, as you stand in this crossroad, left or right, right or left, what is your choice?
I'm going to go left.
As you pick left, you start walking, then jumping, then sprinting down this path as Frigg stands before you, ever looming closer, this woman becoming taller. As before you enclose upon Frigg, she looks down. Progression it is. As Gingy, you rush into the middle of the standing stones. Seeing your companions gathered, Frigg standing, we will hold Shen's revelatory experience until he has a moment. But as Frigg stands before the four of you, she simply looks at each of you. What is it that you seek?
The last shard.
Adora, as you say the last shard, Frigg will look at you. The shard of water lies locked away. It is known simply to some in legends as a strange land underneath the waters. It holds within these waters a temple. This temple is known as the Temple of Ice, as frost has encompassed it, sealing off those that breathe air and water. Should you take the shard, the world must prepare for Ragnarok. Should you desire the shard, the world must prepare for destruction.
And if we leave it?
Should the shard be left, there is simply delay. Medicine delays death. Magic delays invention. Invention delays magic. Life delays death. Death delays life. The world will spin. The continents shift. The gods oversee. And those above watch. I hold in my power the ability to grant you the shard. You have protected the city of Baldur's Haven. You have braved your minds entering here, and thus you may ask a boon.
I think we should.
I didn't hear that. What would you say?
Adora kind of mumbled, I think we should do it.
As you say, I think we should do it, you see Frigg looking at the four of you. While in my circle, you are protected. There is one waiting outside. As she raises her hand slowly, she doesn't whisk her hand, nor does it move, but you watch as her hand seems to shimmer and fold upon itself in and out, up and down, until softly resting like fan blades that settle in her hand piece of metal. She doesn't hand it to any of you immediately. She instead says, "Champions of the Four, hear now my warning. I am a goddess of magic, family, protections. I have seen empires rise and fall, and yet even this," and she holds the shard, "is older than myself. I am but a goddess of the Third Age. My reign began long after other powers came into possession. There are those that would seek to undo the world. Should you," and at this point you see her face splits in four, each to one point of the four of you. "Should you find opportunity for safety or destruction, you must only choose what you know is right." And as she slowly begins to set the shard down at her feet, know this: I am but one god of my pantheon. The pantheons of others exist, but are gods at all more powerful than the people they represent? And are the people not more powerful than all intent? As she slowly stands up, her faces begin to form back into one. With or without your intervention, Ragnarok approaches. The Aesir prepare, just as the others. She vanishes. For our four party members, who picks up the sword shard? Adora, you look at your assembled party members as you reach down, your hands alight upon the sword, and you feel that familiar hum, if but for a nanosecond, and realize much of its original power is indeed lost. We will come to Shen when the time is right. But for the four of you, you will quickly realize that the stones no longer seem as grand. The light now seems much more realistic. And there is a figure standing 100 yards off through the stones, waiting.
Before we tangle with that, quick clarifying question. It took us a week to get here, right?
Mm-hmm.
At any point during that week of travel, could we have tried to long rest again?
I will have to say, unfortunately, long resting while currently in motion won't get the benefits of getting a true long rest for you.
My thought was just like for a whole week we probably would have had to stop at camp at some point rather than like being up the whole time.
The problem is this is, I won't say wilderness camping, but it's survival checks every night that I pass for that terms of like we're not going to roll through every day because there is a really good chance of success or then further failure.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I see that question. As you asked that question, totally valid. We will then move to it is now later in the afternoon. And the figure just stands, something out in the distance. For the party, how do you want to start approaching this?
We teleport away.
Flee!
It's better to get it over with than to prolong it. And with that, I'm gonna kind of. It sounds dark, but like clench onto the shard. It does pierce skin. You know, like I am not using this. And I go approach the figure. Hoping my friends are behind me.
Approach. All of you walk off in the distance. The figure takes shape until you are looking at the face of Kasich Kepson, the man whom you outed as traitor to Ilvanor, but see that his eyes are pitch black. Hands begin to raise. He claps for all of you. Well done! I'm so proud of you. Now, who's ready to get everything they want? Oh, come on, it's great. Don't be afraid. This, and you see he gestures first at Adora and then to everything. This is simply our moment of convergence. You all look so gloomy. You see, he slowly lifts a hand and two fingers begin to draw in the air a large, jet black doorway. Stepping through, this is where I'll ask Hannah, are you ready to introduce your character? Didn't know if you had...
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, sweet. So, let me find the video on. Okay. Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I have bright pink hair, and I was dumb and made a deal with the devil.
I'm gonna be so pissed if he dragons you before the fight, and suddenly we have to fight a dragon.
As
My ultimate goal in life is to become a dragon, because I was a dragon, and then Shrek wished me not a dragon, and I'm so pissed about that.
Elizabeth the Dragon, now human, you step out of this darkness, following what you thought was simply just pitch, arriving in this strange frostbitten land, a hard cut from Egypt. This, like, even at night, Egypt is that hot, sweltering, humid heat amongst the Nile, and now Elizabeth suddenly is freezing cold. You turn and realize Pitch is no longer the shadowy form. He is in this body of flesh and blood. It appears. Turn, sees. Good. Now, Elizabeth, and he kind of holds out one hand to you. He holds out another hand to Adora. If I may have the two last pieces for our key, if you would both be so kind.
I hand him the piece.
Takes a piece from you, looking at you, Adora.
Can I see my reflection in it? This is where I'm kind of metagaming August. Is this the decision?
This is not the decision.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not accidentally making decisions.
This is
without
just,
knowing.
yeah.
Okay, I look to my party members and go, I haven't heard him. Trust me. Stop laughing ominously. You're not helping. I kind of pull Minareth and others aside. It's like, I don't know how to forge this thing. Only he does.
Stage whisper, just so everyone.
Oh yeah, no. So stage whisper. I don't know how to forge this thing. Only he does. I don't know anybody who could, and he claims he can. He's promised me the sword back once it's forged.
As you say this to your assembled party, you see
Oh, Gingy's trying to talk.
Yeah, Gingy.
I'm gonna ask, did you get it in writing?
Well, actually, no, I haven't yet.
You didn't get it in writing.
I did not get it in writing. Thank you, Gingy.
In writing.
Hey, can I get that in writing as I, throw my voice over the party towards Pitch?
Turn. He is standing right behind you.
Can I get that in writing?
Adora.
Mm-hmm.
You have to trust me either way. I give you my word.
It's supposed to come at some point or another, right? Basically, Adora's looking for confirmation from her party members of this seems to be the only option to put the sword back together, but I want to know what you think.
The rest of the party doesn't have your commitment to putting the sword back together. Like,
This is
you want that because it's your sword and you want it back. The rest of us are like, as far as we care, this is only the artifact that will start the apocalypse and destroy the world.
Okay.
You gotta understand.
Honestly,
None of us have any desire to see that thing put back together. So you will not get validation.
I know, yeah. It's tough. Like, no one wants this.
It will be over the rest of the party's projections. I hate to break it to you, but
You see Pitch stands before you, Adora.
I'll make this right. As I give him the shard.
As he claims it. Feels good. Feels good. I was able to just mark down all 7 pieces in his inventory. Pitch takes the 2 pieces and slowly pulling out of his own Ethereum a sword bound in darkness, both ink and sand and oil, jet black that seems to run through the cracks of the shards. He places the 2 pieces inside. As the sword stands now full, he looks at Elizabeth, winks, looks at Adora, winks. Excellent. Now for my part. You watch as his body stiffens. Does anyone speak Abyssal amongst you all?
Let me check.
Nope.
I don't.
Some people might. Because this is kind of fun what he's about to say.
to be fair, it's really hard to get languages in D&D unless you deliberately build your character that way.
know,
Everything
it's
else
tough.
gets common and one other.
I know, right? It's wild. It's usually that you speak Celestial.
Yeah, no, but that's it.
He's speaking Celestial backwards.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
kidding.
Actually, that'd be kind of funny. if
That
it was,
could
Pig
be a
Latin.
world building.
It could be world building, but it's not.
Dang it.
That was the bone.
Pitch speaks something out into the air. As he turns, you watch as he traces the sword point down the trunk of a tree, and the tree begins to split and expand and becoming circular, with all of its branches cracking, seemingly wanting to implode within a heartbeat. Shaking a vibrating portal, he turns to all of you. One chance to watch as he steps backwards into the portal, gesturing, of course, to Elizabeth and Adora. Let's go. Do you all follow?
Absolutely. I might bonus action
I
into a
think
draconic
it's
form real
different.
fast, but
Yeah.
I'll still go.
Bonus action. Stepping. Gingy in Adora's pocket, you step into a brilliantly white and green garden. The world around, for a brief moment, is beautiful and perfect before Pitch stands, reaches out his hand, and thrusts as hard as he can into the earth. Boom! An earthquake rattles the sides of country. Adora, your vision from the standing stones. It lights in front of you. Fire ignites in trees and gardens and different villages. Everything erupts into chaos and destruction as Pitch stands. Thank you. As turning, you see a figure step forward. Brilliant wings behind their body. Eyes marble white. But their skin, though human, you see is starting to smoke and curl as their flesh seems to be igniting somehow. Pitch turns. Wonderful, Azazel. Thanks for the invite. And you see...
I was like wondering how he could get here. That's why you said of Azazel.
Azazel from the mountain party. They had met him briefly.
And that's how he gets into Eve.
You see, Azazel doesn't respond to Pitch. Instead, this seeming angel drops to the ground and begins to scream as flesh burns off of his body, revealing a red skin underneath. Horns begin growing out of his head, wings charring as feathers slowly fade to become skeletal bat-like as all of you watch an angel fall before your eyes.
That's actually really cool. I mean, obviously we hate it.
Obviously it's terrible, but it's like, whoa.
It's so cool.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. Kind of cool. Very bad.
The world building, the lore.
Pitch turns, sees kind of the assembled. Right. Points at Adora and Elizabeth. Points to then Velka, Gingy, Minrith. You three, the latter, go ahead and stick around here. You won't want to be close when this thing goes off. Oh, have fun with my friend. His mind might be a little addled. As Pitch grabs Adora and Elizabeth and seemingly rushes, not teleporting, but just starts moving faster than comprehension out across the burning landscape.
And he's a speedster!
As he runs, quick! Rushing outwards, pulling Elizabeth and Adora. Valka, Gingy, and Minarith. The screaming has stopped as this muscle-bound figure, horns that have erupted, cracks the ground beneath his now curling hands, slowly stands up, breathing heavily, his eyes now total dark, as a demon appears before you three. As that's where we're going to take our break for this session. Thank you all so very much. We will take a 5-6 minute break, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back. Thank you so much for waiting. As we appear, we will not be here. Instead, we cut back to the Sending Stones. As Shen, standing before you, a rock maybe 15 feet high, jagged stone, but with large runes carved in. Shen, you will feel a thought in your mind, a singular thought. Shen, what do you wish to gain? Shen, it's almost your own voice, I will say.
Doing a little bit of this whole search really has been a little bit inner peace.
As you think this, Shen, the rock seems to shift and bubble. Black glass before your eyes suddenly reveal your childhood home. Standing in the tower at the base of your father's throne, you feel the world around you soft as if bubbling like a dream. And you hear Frigg's voice and turn and will see her standing almost where the soothsayer usually would be. As Frigg looks at you, Shen, inner peace is not something that can be won. How do you answer for so much hurt?
I will win that peace.
You see, Frigg kind of stops, her eyes half closed. Then you will fail. Shen, there are always insurmountable odds. Loss must occur in life, else winning means nothing.
Have I not lost everything?
You see, she looks hard into your eyes, and you see, almost like Adora did, that sparkling lightning of brown and yellow just piercing you. You will lose more. I cannot allow you into my standing stones, for you do not understand. As you see, she doesn't turn away from you, but the scene seems to fade, Shen. Standing now amidst a ashen sky, the heat still rising from this destroyed village. Genocide having taken its toll on this hallowed city. You hear Frigg say, "Those will seek penance. And until you understand how to pay this price, you will lose." As Shen, you suddenly realize this isn't a vision. You are standing in this city. The air becomes much colder. Frost seems to grow as if placed here. You're there. you were put here, maybe a little against your will, but are just here. Give me a perception check. A nat 13-19. I'll give you this, Shen. You might be able to catch Frigg in the idea of, like, but she must be here. But there's something else to be seen quickly approaching. Which would you rather put your attention towards? Shen, eyes turning, suddenly seeing light is streaking across the sky, growing ever closer, as landing before you, boom, shaking, throwing the ground aside, a human man, shocking white hair tied back, eyes, marble. Shen, descendant of the Jade Emperor, we must go. As Gabriel takes your shoulder, looks you in the eye, he will tell you what I texted you. And Shen, you feel the world change as you are whisked away. As suddenly we are back in the garden. As you all stand here, I need to throw in something real quick. The three of you standing here see Azazel, once angel, now burned away into nothing but a devil. He seems completely unhinged. As you can tell, his sense of balance seems off, everything seems new. Breath is fiery hot, you see it seemingly melt the air like a furnace in front of you. As the creature turns, looks at you three, roars. And this is where I need everyone to roll initiative.
Hey, they have Swiftman, by the way.
Yes, they do. Grody?
Rolled very badly.
Here we go.
I guess I got a nat 20.
Ooh, you love to see it, Elizabeth. You love to see it.
Sorry, I love you, Hannah, but this is very bad for us.
Great for you, bad for everyone else.
Wait!
Wait, no. Here we go. Just how I had the last order. Shen, what did you get? Synth 20. You love to see that. Valka?
I got a 3.
3. Adora?
15.
15. Elizabeth with a nat 20. Minareth?
8.
And Gingy. Also an 8. Unfortunately, Minareth does have the better dex, so here we go. Let's roll for 1. Ooh. 2. Ooh. 3. Ooh. And now I will roll this one in person, because I kind of want to. Okay. That's decent.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you to ask a question about my character sheet. You can go through it pre-fight to, like, make sure I have everything.
Yeah.
Do stamina points recharge on a long rest or a short rest?
Stamina points recharge on a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's important to know. As we begin, I need to quickly throw up a different creature. Technically, Azazel is not this stat block anymore. He is this stat block. Here we go. So I need to change out. And I'm about to send the initiative tracker for everyone to see here. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Gonna copy that. We're gonna go over. I'm sending this to the campaign dice tray. Here we go. Copy and paste. So everyone can see that. Okay. Here we go. Back to our session so you all can see. Indeed, Azazel is going second after Elizabeth. Forgot about the nat 20 there. Shen, you will be acting right after, which is when you and Gabriel will be arriving, for lack of a better term. Elizabeth, as the world shifts, the garden is not the happy place you remember. Indeed, Elizabeth, as the scenery shifts around you, fire and smoke erupt upon Pitch's mere presence. You see everything becoming darker as Pitch rushes you to the castle where you initially spoke with Uriel. Upon reaching the entrance, Pitch alights you both down, turns to both of you and goes, "Excellent! Now, this is where we need a bit of a choice." You see at this point, he holds out the sword. One of you has got to use this. But we have two candidates. My bad. Overprepared, one might say. This isn't good. As you see Pitch holding the sword, looks at you both. Now, you're gonna give me a second. I gotta reforge this puppy. But you two need to spend some quality time and figure out who's breaking open the seal. Now, to give you a bit of the stakes, Elizabeth, if you don't break open the seal, our deal means nothing. Oops. Adora, you should know, there's a good 70-30 chance if she opens the seal, he points at Elizabeth, she's gonna die. She may be a maiden, she may be able to wield this. She doesn't have the She-Ra spirit bestowed upon her. Oh, but Elizabeth, that's right. If you don't open the seal, you lose everything. And our contract becomes, well, you just lost your soul for nothing. Figured out. You got a few seconds. As Pitch turns, speaks once more abyssal as the sword begins to softly glow, getting brighter and brighter every second as he starts walking towards the middle of this room. Elizabeth, that is your turn.
Some shenanery.
Yeah, what's the idea?
I'm just confused because I thought that the deal, obviously this is what the Mountain Campaign knows.
Oh, excuse me, Minarith, I gotta be super mean. You're not here and you don't get to ask this. I'm so sorry. I thought that was Hannah asking the shenanery.
I just thought that you maybe forgotten about the deal, but that's okay.
Oh no, I know exactly the deal. For Hannah, for Elizabeth, it's you and Adore here. What do you want to do?
I'm going to beg on my hands and knees.
Okay.
I don't want to lose everything. I don't really want to. I sold my soul for this. Literally, contract and all, and I will fight you for it if I have to. I really don't want to, but, like, just, I'm supposed to do this so I can not just sell my soul for nothing. Like,
Did you miss the part where you have a 70% chance of dying?
I will say, probably not.
Either way, I'm dead.
Then why not we work together? If whoever's going to break the seal doesn't... Listen. I have an idea. We're stuck in a house with seemingly 2 doors. I just figured out how to open a window. Would you do it with me?
Do the sword with you?
Because there has been instances in the past where the sword can be... Is it worth a shot?
That's a shenanery gamble there,
You can
Dave.
absolutely try.
Is it worth the shot of if we put both of our intent of I am putting my trust in you, that we are doing this together? Because maybe my spirit will protect you, and maybe then it will technically count for your deal.
I have to ask, like, did you promise him something in return? Or did you... No?
She just really wants her sword back, and she was willing to end the world to do it.
That's not it.
You're
not here!
You're not here.
Basically, Adora explains that she's had visions, and neither side can get what they want. Can I text Hannah?
I will actually say, unfortunately, you might be able to. Elizabeth, is there any action or turn you would like to take before we move down the order?
Is the sword just standing there?
Pitch is holding... You see, Pitch is like about 30 feet in front of you guys. The sword is starting to glow as he is about to start reforging it. Basically, it's that, like, Pitch is working on getting it ready, and he kind of was like, you guys need to figure it out before I'm done.
Sorry, I'm processing. Honestly, I don't really have an action I can do, because I really want to fight her unless she's gonna make me.
Mm-hmm.
But genuinely, like, I don't want a chance... I'm trying to remember why I made the pact in the first place. I don't want to chance someone else dying in the process, because we're already gonna risk so much. And let me... I see your face, how do I see it? So I would rather go and do this alone, and if you have to finish the job, then finish the job. But I am contractually supposed to do this. I signed a contract.
Great, then I want
And
to
so
tell her
because my soul is on the line, I would rather try to do it on my own, and then have you as a backup. That way, that something will happen that will be better than if it didn't happen at all.
Can I call Hannah, please?
Nope. You don't have access to message, so I won't allow it in this case. I'm going to say, Elizabeth, then, you're going to take just a dodge action for now. Because, again, it is that, or I will say held action, because it's, I don't want to attack unless she attacks, unless we have to.
So, yeah, I'll hold my action. If she starts attacking me to get to it, then I will attack her back. But I want to use my movement and move towards Pitch as, like, a sign that I am willing and accepting my job.
Gotcha. You walk up next to Pitch, who's holding the sword, kind of looks over just like, all right. The sword is glowing, hot, white. Blues and reds start fracturing and sparking as whatever he is doing is putting the sword back together here in this place. We cut to the rest of the party. Azazel, fallen angel, roars at you all. Is gonna make 3 melee attacks. One at Valka and one at Minareth with a now fiery red sword. And one with his new tail at Gingy. Valka, that's a 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
And, oh, I rolled the exact same thing twice. That's a 20 to hit Minareth. And that will be at Gingy. Whew. Gingy does a 22 hit. Yikes. Yeah. Valka and Minareth, you will both take 16 points of piercing damage. As that damage happens, Gingy, thankfully you are not undead, but this will be 13 points of damage, piercing damage to you, Gingy. Oh, excuse me. You are a creature other than undead. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, Gingy, as the tail hits you. That is a 10. Gingy, something inside your little cookie body breaks hard. You feel...
Is she within 10 feet to get like an aura thing from me?
She is within 10 feet, but Gingy, it's not going to pass the DC, even with the aura. Gingy, you...
Well, it's advantage, not a buff.
You have advantage? Excuse me?
Dragon Fang. They're within 10 feet of me.
What? Grody, I hate that. Gingy, you have advantage on this. For some reason I was confusing with a paladin, like, plus.
I'm not a paladin.
Here we go, Gingy. 13. Oh. It still will fail. You have an infernal wound eating your body, Gingy. As on your turn, you will continually take damage until you can get either a medicine check or magical healing to cure this wound that is literally bleeding you frosting dry. As Azazel takes his turn, a blinding flash of holy light appears. Shen, stepping through this teleport, you and Gabriel step into this burning plane. Gabriel turns to you, Shen, and simply nods as he is going to tackle Azazel, and Gabriel pulls out of nowhere a flaming sword of his own and starts striking Azazel down. Shen, that is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, I just need a quick eye on everybody. So, Elizabeth and Adora are far away from us. The rest of everybody is kind of around this colony, correct?
Including Swiftwind, the Pegasus of Adora.
How far away would Adora and Elizabeth be from us?
In total, you would guesstimate probably, I can give you a better number than guesstimate. We're looking at maybe 200 feet away. They're off in now a ruined, maybe what once was a castle is the vibe, but is just in ruins. And because I'll allow Shen, like, they are inside this open doorway. I mean, the portcullis is blown apart, like, everything's gone. You can see it, but that's like 200 feet away.
Awesome. I think I'm going to rush in with Gabriel and make an attack against the angel using my Wandao.
Yeah.
So that'll be a 28 to hit.
Oh, 28 will definitely hit.
That was almost a crit.
Ah, rats.
Okay, so that's 11 plus sneak attack. So 15 points of slashing damage.
15 points? Yikes, that's good. You rush in on that 15 points. You will quickly realize whatever Gabriel's doing is definitely, like, the big stuff. Like, Azazel went from, like, this terrifying thing to immediately, like, horrifyingly hurt. Your 15, you rush in, Shen, stabbing in with Guandao, and puncture something hard in this devil's side, and watch as black ooze drips onto your blade, hissing almost in the acidic sense, as Azazel is now bloodied. I will say, Gabriel turns to you, Shen, as you do this. I will be gone in seconds. Get the area clear. As you can see, Gabriel's skin is starting to combust, not like Azazel's did, but that natural just, like, balloon popping as he cannot retain this form. Basically, Gabriel's got a round before something really bad happens to anyone in this very quick vicinity.
Okay, I'm going to relay that information to the others.
Okay.
And who would be closest to me then?
Right now it is Minarith.
Okay. I think I'll use my bonus action to make an unarmed step with my dagger strike against the fallen demon, and then I'm going to use my movement to run to Minarith and maybe kind of try to pull her away from what's going on.
Gotcha. Go ahead and make that unarmed, just side off. Because Shen, Adora, you're on deck.
Okay, that's 14 to hit.
14 does not hit. Immediately, this prehensile tail whips around, kind of catches your blade, and tosses it away.
Yeah, that's So then I escape. He can't make an opportunity attack against me because I hit him.
Yep.
And I'm going to use my movement to again grab Minareth and kind of tow her away from what's going on.
Gotcha. As that happens, Shen, you start dragging her away. We cut back Adora. Elizabeth has walked up right next to Pitch. The sword is glowing brilliantly white. More sparks are appearing. What do you do?
Is this Elizabeth not wanting to listen to what else I have to say?
It sounds like this Elizabeth who has made her statement of, I have to do this. And you can tell, it's not like she hid it. Like, if you attack, she'll attack. And she is getting ready to fulfill solo what Pitch is trying to accomplish.
In this moment, Adora has never felt so powerless in her life. Except of which, when she was in that vision with Freya. But she realizes she can do something in this moment. And this is where, DM, I'm trying to flavor this as, because you've seen She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, Season 5.
Yes.
Not only are her loved ones, her friends, counting on her, but those she doesn't know, those that she won't ever maybe know. And she has no clue if she can turn into She-Ra again. But she has to try. Because in this moment, the last thing she has is her agency.
What is your goal then in trying to become She-Ra?
To protect and save as many as I can. As it has always been.
Now, I might be fishing for this. How are you going to do that?
I'm going to break both seals at the same time.
Okay. Elizabeth might try to stop you, though.
Okay.
You rush in. It is a held action, because again, Pitch is reforging the sword.
Held action? Bet.
Elizabeth, Adora rushes forward. She is not attacking you, but she's now holding an action to try to get the sword first, as the second it's time, she's trying to grab it and go. As Adora, after your turn, Pitch will take his turn, kind of looks at both of you on either side. Oh, this is a prize only one gets. As he uses his action, I'm going to make a roll. The sword looks about halfway reforged, as sparking from the hilt leading towards the tip, lines are reforging in this hot metal. The magic of this plane is starting to swirl and coalesce around. It's almost halfway there.
I want to talk to Elizabeth. It's a free action.
It is not your turn anymore, I have to say. It's okay, no worries.
Okay.
Pitch takes that turn. Minareth, that is you with Gingy on deck. Minareth, what would you like to do?
I would like to... How far away am I from the demon and Gabriel?
You are about 30 feet away, because again, Gabriel kind of tackled this dude to try to get him away, because also Gabriel, as Shen just told you, is about to go supernova.
Yeah. I would like to cast Slow on... I'm trying to decide if I want to do it on just the demon or Gabriel as well to give the rest of the party time to get away.
Casting Slow.
Yeah.
It's up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube. Yeah, because you could hit both of them solo. Or both of them together and not the party.
Okay, I want to cast Slow on both of them, but I want to give disadvantage to the demon.
Excellent. Using your augur ability, disadvantage to the demon.
Yeah.
Wisdom save at disadvantage. That's an 11 from Azazel. Gabriel's gonna roll his. Here we go. Sorry, I had to find it. What's your save DC?
16.
You gotta know. My guy has a grody bonus. But on a nat 2, he barely fails. And Gabriel does not have access to a legendary resist right now. Both are encapsulated in this sphere that becomes that cuboid prism. Boom! Around them. Time drops to seconds as both of them slowly punching, grappling, cutting each other. Minrith, both angel and devil are slowed.
Okay, good. They both are.
What was that?
Cannot use reactions. Even that slow Gabriel's supernova time?
It might, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, each of those creatures can either do an action or a bonus action, regardless of their abilities or magic items. So, it can only do one thing every time. And also, if you're looking at the spell, there's stuff with magic as well for casting a spell, so.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think, that's probably going to be it. Except I'll move my 30 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go ahead and go along with Shen to back off.
Yep. So now,
I think that's it.
Minrith, you're technically the closest right now towards the castle. Gingy, that is your turn. Valka, you're on deck. Oh, you're muted. Sorry. Oh.
Sorry. I'm blessing everyone.
Bless. Excellent.
Nice.
That's Shen, Valka, Minrith, Gingy, even yourself included. Boom. Blesses for all. You love to see it. Would you like to also then, Gingy... Oh, excuse me. Gingy, you're in Adora's pocket.
No! Oh!
I hope that doesn't ruin what you want to do, Gingy, but you are in Adora's pocket and have been watching this whole thing.
So Gingy knows everything I've said?
Gingy knows everything.
Great. Also, Gingy could tip the scales.
Gingy, what would you like to do, Gingy?
You will need to jump out of my pocket when I touch that sword so I don't literally turn you into a burnt cookie. Anyhow.
Okay,
I said no.
Sorry. Adora was just saying how, because you're in her pocket, whatever happens, you might want to jump out of her pocket so you don't become a burnt cookie.
I will do that.
I texted you, obviously. Can you please look at that?
We're like pretty far away from the
You're actually... So, Gingy, you're kind of like quite literally caught between everything. Like, Gingy, to kind of give you the idea, Pitch is in front of you with the sword. Adora's on the left. Elizabeth's on the right. Adora's getting ready to grab the sword. Elizabeth was getting ready to maybe have to fight, but might be changing. It's... like, I can't tell you, Gingy, what else could happen. This is all crazy.
I'm gonna hop out of Adora's pocket but stay nearby. Just to stay like so she has an ally and yeah. I'm not gonna take off like I'm planning to.
Okay.
But I will still do the bless and I will hop out.
So, Adora has the bless. Gingy, you hop out just as that. You're another person kind of on Adora's side. There's no telling what could happen. This is just, who knows? It's all up to fate. Or I shouldn't say fate, but who knows? That is, right before your turn, Valka, Swiftwind. Swiftwind is with Valka, Shen, and Minareth.
Swiftwind can hold up to 4 people. What?
No. Swiftwind can hold
He can.
up to 2 because he's a D&D Pegasus. Because earlier he was able to hold Adora, Valka, and Gingy because Gingy a cookie. Basically, Swiftwind is looking at Shen, Minareth, and Valka. I can get 2 of you there now. And it's just kind of looking around.
I think my answer depends on a question I had for you about... I have many questions about the message that I got. Like, is this something that's happening now? Something that's gonna happen? Is this a voice in my head? Do I know who's saying this?
Voice in your head, I'll text you.
Thank you. I have many questions.
I'm just gonna say now, Minareth is gonna volunteer to stay a little bit longer because she's just a little bit invested in Gabriel fighting the demon.
Yep.
So.
Oh.
Yeah. So Minareth is volunteering to stay. That's the only answer you really get there, just passively.
Thank you for reminding me, just because it's been so long since you and I talked about your
backstories.
No
yeah.
clue.
And again, there was a lot that's happened all at once.
Well, fuck that. Oh. Either way, I think yes. Then I'll get on the steed.
You're gonna get on the steed.
And then I guess anything more in depth, I'll have to deal with on my turn.
It's that if Minareth is volunteering to say, Shen, do you want to get on Swiftwind to immediately try to close with everything happening at the castle?
Yes, I don't want to be around when stuff goes down here.
Yeah, please don't. Shen and Valka, you hop on. Swiftwind will use his 90 feet of movement plus his additional 90 dash action and be 20 feet away. Basically right outside the castle. Just there's 20 feet inside to the action. Kind of where Adora and Elizabeth were kind of dropped when you arrived. Valka, this is now your turn.
Okay. Can I, respond through that mental link or whatever?
Like to try.
Should I, message you, or...
It's your choice.
I'll message you my thought process so you understand what I'm trying to get out of this question.
In which case, you'll have to take the dodge action. Things are getting crazy.
Oh, so I can't, talk and take a turn?
No.
Okay.
It's kind of one or the other. A big, do I try to communicate or do I try to do something?
Okay, well, I think I would like to communicate, because...
Okay, your turn, because it is an action to communicate back, so go ahead and respond that. Valka and Shen, you're right here seeing all this. That brings us back to Elizabeth's turn. Now, Elizabeth, Adora is just getting ready to try to snatch the sword. Just true yeet it. What would you like to do?
Charm person, Adora.
Charm person, here we go. Alright, Adora, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw against Elizabeth. What's your safety DC?
13.
13, okay. It's a wisdom save from Adora. Here we go.
I hate digital dice. Why can't I roll this in
no!
real life? No, I want to re-roll. Please.
Please?
Please.
What will you offer me for? I'm kidding. I have to be fair.
No, that's not fair.
You
It
have
didn't roll. It just went...
bless. You have bless.
There's no way bless would get me above the threshold.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you have bless because Gingy's here. Gingy has not yet taken an action.
But even with bless, I can't beat a 13.
Oh, right. I just saw it. For some reason, I was looking at a different number. I will say, I don't want to mediate this one. I'll say, Hannah, would you allow Elle to roll a physical dice in person that I have here for the roll?
The digital
Would
dice
you allow?
didn't roll.
Every time we've asked you as a DM, you said no.
No? Okay.
I didn't feel like that's fair because as a DM, you've always said no when we've asked that.
You're good. So, again, I have to be fair. Adora, and...
I understand because electronic dice, like, screws me over too, so I stopped using it. So I totally understand, but every time we've used it, August says no.
Yeah,
So
I do have to be fair. Thank you. I just want to be like, I'm trying to be fair to everyone here, because there is just chaos. There's really no right or wrong here, it's just kind of this, like, what's gonna happen. You are charmed for a little bit here. Again, though, that's why, Gingy, you're here, and you will see Adora just got charmed by this other woman. So you know the charm is off and can do stuff about that, because you're right here, too. So, Elizabeth, that was your action, though. So, you technically don't have a held action, but you have the charm. Azazel and Gabriel will both take their turns. At the end of Gabriel's turn, Minarith, Gabriel begins to alight in holy fire, and as you are within 60 feet, I need you to make a dex saving throw, Minarith.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Let's do that. Give me just a second, sorry. It takes forever.
13? Ooh! Alright! Wow, we get some lower rolls today. Minarith, you're gonna take some damage. How many hit points do you have left?
Let me check. So I found out that D&D Beyond, for some reason, was on manual hit dice instead of fixed, like I normally have it. So I'm at 37, that's not 31.
Yeah.
But I'm still left with only 21 hit points right now.
You are at 21 hit points. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You are at 21 hit points. This could be very bad. Because this is D6. Or because you're, 30 feet away. And, oh, that was so many sixes. That was, I just rolled digitally a 666, haha, and a 1 for 19. Minarith, you are barely alive as these two just go supernova. When the light clears, Gabriel and Azazel are both gone. No bodies, no nothing. They are just poof. That will make Shen's turn. Shen, as you approach the castle, you're 20 feet away from everything going on. Pitch is forging the sword. Shen, what would you like to do? Got it. So Shen, held action of, if someone's in danger, grab them, go. That will then make... Shadow demons are slowly beginning to appear on everyone's periphery. They are approaching. That will make Adora's turn. Right now you are charmed.
Hold on, I'm looking at the conditions of charm. Can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with any harmful abilities or magical effects. The charmer has advantage on any ability check to interact socially with the creature. Technically, that wouldn't hinder my ability to grab the sword.
It won't hinder your ability to try to grab the sword. It's just Elizabeth might be able to say, please don't, go walk away, and you might have to. It's that, like, it's until this charm goes off. Technically you could grab the sword, but it's with the charm on, Elizabeth could use an action to be like, and now walk away, please. That sounds very childish, but, like, that's kind of what's going on right now. So...
Sorry, D&D Beyond.
So, question, when did I tell her that? Would that be at my turn next turn, or would it be now?
That would be on your turn, yeah. Because you can't... because this is charmed... Again, Adora regards you as friendly, everything's good right now. Again, in theory, it's like, we're all friends right now. But anything you would want to do, like, basically advantage persuasion, almost... It's not like a control, like a dominate person where it's like you have perfect control, but you could on your turn say, please walk away. And Adora, you kind of have to unless you get a crazy.
I want to make a persuasion check to let me do this.
You can't do that with the charm
What?
because
No,
again.
I can. D&D Beyond says that I can.
Well, let do this. Target the charm, harmful abilities, magical effects. I'm ruling because of how the
Not
magical
attacking it.
affects things. It's you are trying. She's interacting socially with you. You can't do that back right now. That's kind of what the charm is.
Okay.
It's again, charm person is grosser than most people realize. Where it's a one-way street of persuasion.
Okay.
So Adora, again, currently nothing's hindering you from trying for the sword, which will make Minrith, you're on deck. It is Pitch's turn. That's another really good one. As you watch, Pitch holds the sword in both hands as it begins to spark and a light slowly fusing. Pitch starts screaming this horrifying abyssal screech as before the sword is completely forged. Adora and Elizabeth, neither of you have held actions to grab it. The sword is about to fall from Pitch's hands and simply plunge into the ground, immediately searing the ground everywhere. The sword is just there. Pitch looks horribly bloodied as he jumps away in pain. As again, this man cannot hold the forged sword. Stops, looks at everything happening, and just gives that horrifying grin. And just watches to see what happens. The nightmares are approaching. All of you hear those thundering steeds. Minrith, that is you. Minrith, you are on quite literally death's door again. Just feeling the burn. What would you like to do?
I don't have any healing spells, which I'm realizing is really not good.
Hey, we've all been there where it's like, where's my healing?
Please, one of two
Alright.
spellcasters
Okay.
in our party, please take some healing spells.
Please. Please, no.
I am so sorry. I can barely hear you. Can you say that again?
Oh, we're just joking about how please take healing spells, someone. We need to heal. Only Gingy has healing. Anyway.
That's my problem. Okay, is, the horse, the really full of himself horse, I can't remember his name.
Swiftwind.
Is he anywhere close to me? It's Swiftwind. Is he anywhere close to me, or is he still like 180 feet away?
He is 180 feet. Yeah, Swiftwind's turn is 2 down from you. He's gonna have to run back and grab you.
Okay, go.
I texted you all some stuff.
I
No, please look at
am going to.
Please. Look at
Dang. None of my spells are really useful at this point. I think the only thing I would ask is if you would allow me to. I don't think you will, and that's okay. Would I be able to cast Detect Thoughts on Gabriel in the last little moments before he is gone?
Oh, some interesting shenanigan. I don't think so. Because it's been, unfortunately, enough of the way through the turn order, Minrith, that it's he is gone at this point. It's kind of hard to detect thoughts on something gone.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, I really don't have anything that I can do with this move.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's it. You said it's far enough down the turn order. Does that mean that if I were to cast Comprehend Languages, would I be able to have heard what Pitch was saying in Abyssal?
Oh, yeah, actually. If you cast Comprehend
Alright,
Languages,
I'll do
Minrith, the words Pitch is screeching to the cosmos is a prayer. Not to any god or demon, simply a prayer to the sword. One invoking the power of the cosmos, of heaven and hell, speaking that given the powers that be, that when the sword is reunited, it once more is the Sword of Eve, the Sword of Protection, She-Ra's blade, and that it might possess once more its power to break the seal. As this happens, Minrith, you will hear this, and I'll say you can start running. You're hearing this again. Pitch is screaming, like he is not being quiet or subtle. Gingy, that is your turn, Gingy. As Adora is standing there, very tranced. Adora looks distraught. Elizabeth is just getting ready. Again, it's that the sword is falling, slowly plunging into the earth. Gingy, what would you like to try? Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking through.
Yeah, thankfully Adora's not, like, bloody.
They're all just, like, healing spells, but they're not. It's the charm spell.
I know, it's weird.
Oh, can I do lesser restoration on myself?
I'll check that. Let me check. Touch a creature, one disease or condition. Oh, unfortunately, because Charmed isn't one of the conditions Lesser Restoration does. Because, yeah, Lesser is the blind, deaf, paralysis, poison, the more, like, external.
Physical.
Yeah, it's because, yeah, Charmed and Frightened are stuff with, like, other, like, either auras with paladins, depending on the type of domain, Cleric has auras or spells. There's something else that has a charm. I want to say it's Barbarians, but that's more of a rage thing. So sorry, Gingy. I know you're thinking, what's your thoughts? Please do.
Could I cast Aid, but on Adora, but instead of it increasing her hit points, it increases, like, her wisdom thing, or whatever it is.
Yeah, okay. No, I see what you're saying. It's because it's a higher level spell anyway. It's your all. The spell literally says is you're bolstering your allies' toughness and resolve. Because it does that, I will say this, Gingy. I think this is shenanigan that is going to work in bounds with some of our setting here. Would you give me, please, though, an Arcana check? I think is going to... maybe. I retract that Arcana statement. I think, Gingy, we're going to call this a medicine check based in your magic of... Because you're trying to cast the aid spell to heal a friend. I think that works exactly how you're thinking right now. I see, because it's abjurative magic. It's meant to protect.
That's a synthetic 20.
A synthetic 20. I will allow Gingy, you feel just that little cookie hug around Adora's leg, just like, please, 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 please help. I don't know what I'm doing. Please. The charmed effect will fade currently. As Adora and Elizabeth, you are both standing here. Pitch is starting to just cackle in his little corner. I think that's an excellent turn, Gingy.
I forgot to take that damage.
Oh, you're at, oh yes, I see what you're saying. Gingy, you are currently at, 25 hit points.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just realizing on a quick initiative you don't have my level 5 hit points.
Yes. That one I'm not too worried because I can still see D&D Beyond. I am keeping track of that. No worries. Yeah, so Gingy, you're still looking pretty good. You did take a bit of damage, but it's that, like, ooh. It is now, Gingy, though, you are correct. Here is where I have to be completely honest, Gingy, you've taken no damage because you weren't there to get attacked.
Yeah.
That's why you're good. Like, in fact, actually, heal yourself completely full. Why am I saying you're even at 25? You weren't there to be attacked. You were in Adora's pocket the whole time. That is my mistake as a DM, and I apologize. Yeah, so Gingy's fine. As Gingy, you cast Aid. You're completely healthy. That will make, right before Valka's turn, Swiftwind is going to take his turn. Swiftwind is going to rush up. And he's going to impose disadvantage with his body to Elizabeth. Being mentally connected, again, Adora's steed just like, your Pegasus just like, grab it, grab it, grab it, as Elizabeth, it's not terrible, but it's just this giant horse is now, like, trying to, like, push himself in this, like, already tense space where he's like, no! And, like, suddenly there's a Pegasus here. Swiftwind doesn't want this. Whose horse is that? As that's all Swiftwind can really do. He is just Pegasus. He's not a unicorn. Valka.
Did I get a response to my question?
You did not.
Alright. But on the previous turn, Swiftwind got me right in the thick of things, right?
Exactly. You and Shen are here.
I'm going to start attacking Pitch with Dragon Fang.
Okay, Valka just books it towards Pitch and pulls out Dragon Fang.
But here's also my thing. Part of why this whole powder keg is exploding is because Pitch is like, snap, snap, hurrying you guys into a decision. I'm like, maybe if I kill him, maybe that might have repercussions with who's holding your contract. Maybe you slip out of it. B, at least he's not here and you guys can maybe slow down and stop being like snap decisions which aren't always smart.
Yeah, it's not like maybe we can
So I
solve...
think I'm just gonna take my attacks on Pitch.
I like it. You're gonna take your 2 attacks on Pitch.
Because also it's that I kind of have no choice. Because double checking, like, I have not had any contact with this person since before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now you're contacting me and this is what you're asking? I'm sketched out.
Yeah.
I'm a little sketched
It's sketchy. Everything is sketchy and weird right now.
That's a natural 17 plus 9 to hit. 26.
26 will hit.
Thank you.
Crack.
So,
Oh no.
let me double check that I'm splitting this up correctly. If I understand this weapon correctly, I am doing 2d6 plus 6 magical slashing damage and an extra 2d10 radiant damage.
Exactly, because Pitch is a fiend.
Alright.
If you hadn't have guessed, he is not a good guy.
Is he?
No. Yeah, him pitting Elizabeth and Adora against each other and laughing the whole time.
Keep all that damage
That's
separate and
fine.
let you know, and then I'll have a second attack.
Yep.
Hey, so the way that the first vision said with Gabriel, it was worded
So it's 16 for the magical slashing,
Okay.
and then 11 for the radiant.
Pitch, already looking bad, looks horribly bloodied as and just cuts, cleaving Casset Kepson's body. Pitch roars in anger, just, don't you interfere!
Second attack.
Ah, stop it.
I told you it was coming.
Stop it.
Stab him! 9 plus 13 is a 22.
A 22, Pitch is going to use Shield to barely not just get destroyed by that of like, whew, as Shield spell goes off and catches kind of in that very magical way, catches the blade and hovers against it.
Weird question about how the rounds shook out.
Yeah.
Did Gingy technically cast Bless before Swiftwind brought me
Unfortunately, no. It's, again, I completely forgot Gingy was with Adora, which really helps Adora, but not
But
you
so
guys.
that happened before I got there.
Yeah.
Just like triple checking, because like, yeah.
Yeah, it's still very helpful, but not to you right now.
I have a bonus action.
You do have bonus action.
It's
action,
not
snap.
radiant, but I've got icicle
Yeah,
for
grab
that
your
offhand attack.
icicle and step.
It might. I mean, I don't get as great a buff to this, but it could work.
my favorite bonus action. Stab.
Oh yeah, no, that's not gonna hit.
Here we go.
To use my held action to offer Valka the help action.
You were holding your action. I would allow in this case, Shen, yes, a help action to offer advantage. I will
Would
allow.
this have been advantage on that second attack to see if it gets above the shield or on the bonus action?
I'll let you choose. Break the shield? Alright.
Because it was a 22, and then he raised his AC, so I'm going to see if I can get higher this
Mm-hmm.
time.
So.
Nope, that wasn't the word. But thank you for trying.
Still, again, Shen offering... it is that Shen, you whip out daggers, throwing it, trying to, like, offer that battle advantage. At the end of Valka's turn, we are at the top of the order, not with Elizabeth yet, fun fact. With Minareth. Minareth, as you are running towards the castle, a figure slowly starts appearing out of nothingness. Very translucent. Minareth, you see close crew-cut sides with spikier, kind of furled hair, elegant wings and armor, glowing symbols and sigils and badges, as a figure is starting to emerge here. Minareth, you hear this voice and recognize it immediately. As Michael stands before you, looks at you, Minareth, follow, and he is going to put you and himself in the castle.
Oh!
Michael looks, sees Elizabeth. All of you see, he looks at Elizabeth with just disgust. He looks at Adora, and his face isn't happy, but then much more placid. Take the sword. And here's where it is Elizabeth's turn. Now, Swiftwind is technically in the way.
I've been holding
Meaning, Elizabeth, you and Adora are... I'm trying to think what the check is to get the sword. Because right now, Adora was about to grab it, you're about to grab it, Swiftwind's in the way of everything.
As always, I love
As always, I'm going to say I want both of you to roll me physical dice and text me the result of, we're going to call this, I think it's a sleight of hand. I think it is just grab it.
Can I use my strength?
No, because that's the thing. I don't think there's no strength, there's no kind of, it's just,
Hey, Elizabeth, what class are you?
we'll
Just
get to
roll
that.
the dice.
Come roll in person.
I thought you had good dice.
I have no dex. All of my stuff's
Yeah.
in strength.
So,
I'm gonna use the point of inspiration on it.
yep, you're good. Point of inspiration will make it flat then, because of the disadvantage of the Pegasus in the way. Okay? So, Elizabeth...
Oh, wait, I didn't realize there was a disadvantage. Wait, let me roll.
Yes, you're good. Well, yeah, I realized I should clarify. But yeah, using a point of inspiration just to, like, not have... Just, like, a flat roll. It's a flat roll either way.
But Adora's blessed, right?
Adora's blessed.
Do I need to roll bless?
D4, yeah. So Hannah's texting me. So here we go. Yeah, I don't
Technically, I could text you, but it's right there.
Yeah. Okay. Got that. Hannah's texting me. Wow. That was much closer than I thought it would be for both of you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I rolled horribly.
Yeah, yeah, this is crazy. Here we go. We are about to enter, shall we call it, a bit of a cutscene. But you guys will still be able to do stuff. As...
If my soul is no longer mine, I might just hurt you really, really bad.
I know
This
you're
is
gonna...
all your fault.
I'm gonna lock my doors. Here we go. As you stand there, Pitch behind Valka and Shen, both just wailing on him. Pitch calls out, "Break it!" And you see Michael, this angelic figure who is not corporeal, more of just a slight visage, pick up my sword. Elizabeth and Adora both rush. Swiftwind tries to block. Point of inspiration. Elizabeth, as a barbarian, lifts this Pegasus above her head, puts it behind Swiftwind. Ah! Everyone rushes. Minarith standing. Everyone watches both hands reach for the sword. Adora, you see Elizabeth slightly in front of you, fingers already on the pommel, as your arm grows just enough. The blessing of Shira. Adora's hands close around the sword hilt. Adora, as you hold this hilt, immediately you are flooded in this place with the information. This is where the seal is. This is the key. And there are two halves to this seal. My question now for you. What do you do?
In this moment, Adora weighs what both sides have been doing. Pitch did kill the man in the moon and has, been generally causing chaos. And she thinks back to the angel she saw turn into a demon. And she thinks for a moment, how can that be just? To let him fall like that. But then, it was his decision to help Pitch get here. She looks to Michael. I have to do both, don't I?
Michael doesn't say a word. I will give you this, though. As you look at Michael, you immediately see the woman across from you, eyes brimming with sudden fear and anger and loss as she's about to lose just as much as you did. It's your choice. There is no right or wrong. It is simply what happens.
I break both seals at the same time.
Adora, clutching the hilt, you hear the voice never before spoken. Open and feel heavenly radiance begin to form and fall, matched only with infernal darkness, as both begin their absolute hardest to push. Elizabeth, being your turn, you have a chance right here, right now, to cheat your contract. I'm a fair DM. Because if you can get a hand on this sword, albeit possible destruction, you have technically fulfilled your soul contract. Only because it is... Only because it is your turn. That's why I'm allowing this.
Can I offer any help? Because I want her to be able to have that choice.
What I'm allowing is the help makes it not a disadvantage, because what you see, Elizabeth, the woman across from you, this Adora, her hair has gone from its normal blonde to platinum electric blonde as she is glowing and enlarging and becoming this full Amazonian level warrior. She is offering, you watch her hand slips down the pommel, offering a singular spot. And Elizabeth, I just need an attack roll, your strength and proficiency to grasp the sword and assist in the breaking of the seal.
That's a nat 20.
Yo! You love to see it. Oh,
That's a natural 20.
She lives on a nat 20, right?
Yeah, my husband confirmed it. It's a nat 20.
You will live on a
That's
nat
easy,
20.
nat
I will
20.
let you know, anything else would have been so much dice of damage that even a barbarian probably couldn't have halved it.
I'll take it.
Elizabeth, Adora moves her hand, you grasp, and you will still feel, though, pain. Ultimate excruciating as heaven and hell collide in this moment. Erupting, all of you watch, lightning breaks. Pitch sees Elizabeth grab the sword, scream, "No!" As before he can do anything, Pitch and Michael vanish. They are not destroyed. They simply are gone. As the sword shakes, rumbling occurs across the skies. This plane of existence begins to fall in on itself in destruction. The garden forever broken. As appearing before you all, we are now out of initiative. As the sword, now glowing in hand, stands forever as the first seal to have been broken. Gabriel emerges out of thin air. You all must go.
I look at him and I go,
I do not know what the right thing is anymore. We have all been deceived.
Is the sword basically stuck in the stone?
The sword is... You and Elizabeth are both holding the sword. Gabriel looks at Elizabeth. As Gabriel looks at Elizabeth, he says, I must send you back. And he's going to... Technically, you could choose to stay, Elizabeth, but he's about to try to teleport you back to the party. The mountain party.
Well, as she goes, I look at her, and I say, what is better? To be born good, or to overcome your evil nature through great effort? It's good to meet you.
I'm just gonna respond and say, I just wanted to be a dragon and
Oh yeah, that too. You're good.
for you, but can I be a dragon? You look at Gabriel and say, can I be a dragon?
You see Gabriel just... We will talk as he pushes you away. Back to Egypt. Thank you so much, Hannah.
You cut. Oh my gosh, I cut out everything. Yeah, I can't hear me.
We're cutting out bad. The Wi-Fi suddenly got really bad in like the last 2 seconds.
Wi-Fi's like, nah, it's too cool.
I'm closing out some tabs to like see if I can help improve. We will discuss, Hannah, later. Your predicament. Yep. Oh no, everything just froze. So Hannah, as Gabriel pushes you, I will discuss shortly, pushes you away back to your party. Gabriel will stop and turn, looking at the rest of the assembled party. Let me try to fix our Wi-Fi real quick. Oh no, it's all cutting in and out.
And this is where we're going to take our second break.
For our second break for our 5-hour session. I'm kidding. Come on, let's try to get... Oh, I might just go to my hotspot. Hotspot. No, internet. Hey, wait a second. That's not real. It is recording on our end, though. Come on. Don't you dare say no internet. I know there's internet. Here we go.
One thing change for y'all, too.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's like... Oh, hi, August.
Hey, sorry. Our Wi-Fi just decided to, like, not work. For Hannah, you see Gabriel simply says, we will discuss it. Ready, everyone. As he turns,
Okay.
yeah, pushes you in as this is a big conversation of what just happened. Gabriel turns, looks at the rest of the assembled Peacekeepers. Quick, where is somewhere safe?
Ethereum.
I cannot get you there. It has been sealed off.
Could we head back to... Shut up, I'm gonna call it Switzerland. I know that's not a thing.
Switzerland!
To Switzerland. Ilvanor?
Ilvanor? I would feel like that could be a possibility of places that we've been very recently that were
I mean,
sealed
you
off.
have friends there.
We
It's
got
a
good base
good people.
operations there. Can I
Yeah,
also...
probably Ilvanor.
Yeah.
Can I also do a quick shenanery?
Yes, what's your shenanery?
Because of, like, prayers and religion and angels and stuff, could I, like, try and, like, talk to him in my mind? For that, like, you're an angel, can I, like, pray to you, so to speak, to, like, ask a question?
I will say not right now.
Okay.
You have seconds before this plane goes belly up.
Ask the question. I am so sorry.
Yeah, what's your question, Minra?
I would like to, like, right before he teleports us away, I want to cast Detect Thoughts, and then ask him, do you know who I am?
Ah, yikes. Alright.
Okay.
Here we go. We're here.
Get him to pay that religious parental support.
Parental support.
And I'm imposing disadvantage on his save again.
Ah, you suck.
Yikes! You
Here you
gave us
go.
a bus.
Oh, gosh. Well, smart you did, because he first rolled a nat 20.
Of course he did.
And what's your save DC? Minrith, what's your save DC?
16, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, 16 isn't great. Not in a bad way, but it's definitely a lot. Oh my gosh, suddenly everything's freezing. Here we go. I need to know what his save is. I put away his stat block for the half a second he was gone. Wisdom, yeah. On a synthetic 20, he will succeed. I couldn't remember if it was good or not. He does have a better wisdom. Minrith,
Cool, can I still do an insight check again?
make me an insight check as the world is about to crumble both under your feet and before your eyes.
That's a 23.
A 23. Gabriel knows you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
On a 23, you know he's looking at you in comprehension. As the world shifts and turns, suddenly you are outside. The stars are out. The moon still red. But now you feel a change in the very atmosphere itself. As Gabriel stands before you all, not in a avatar body, in his form. Gabriel immediately looks troubled, looks at all of you. What were you all told?
I mean, I'm gonna tell him and then ask, like, you told me to stop Minrith from filling the door.
That was my intention because I was told by heaven. And he looks at you, Minrith, that you were going to slay the Shira.
Why did
I was
Aslan...
told by Michael to kill Adora, but I wasn't going to.
Well, because Gabriel's not an archangel, is he? He's not one of the big seven or whatever.
Gabriel is one of
Then
the big
why
seven.
didn't he get told if the others all did? Because if Michael and Azrael?
You see, he says, my orders from heaven were to get Shen out because Shen failed the test of the stones, but that he needed to stop Minareth.
I was told... Is it question August? Do the visions count as what I was told, or is this just what people were texting?
The visions count.
Okay. I was given 2 visions. One from Pitch, obviously asking what he had wanted after forging the sword to break the seal of hell. I then received a message from heaven telling me to break their seal first. I broke them at the same time.
If the stranger was Pitch's candidate and Adora was Heaven's, then why did Azrael command me to slay Adora?
Because you see, Gabriel looks furious at something. Heaven is not what I thought it was. I was told that we were to break Heaven's seal only, to therefore smite the demons before they erupted from hell. And now, I have just learned Michael wanted both seals broken. He wants demons upon the earth. Did anyone else get any other messages? This makes sense. Uriel fled the garden upon your entrance. No one knows where he is.
Just quick clarify again if you think your character can kind of get it.
Yep.
So is the sense that I'm getting, I was told to kill Adora because they knew she was going to go for both and not just... Or...
Quite possibly. It's, you were told to kill Adora because at some level they're like, uh-oh, she's not going to do what we want?
Yeah. But also, but then it's that like... So then was Azrael functioning on we just want her to open heavens, but Michael wanted both open?
That's
I'm
something
so
you won't know, yeah. You see, Gabriel looks at you all. The seals of heaven have begun to erupt. I fear we only have seconds before the next seal breaks, as it is with someone who is attuned to it, holds it in their possession, and knows not what it is.
Damn it. I know now what it is, but metagaming.
It's metagame. Megan knows because she lives with me.
Yeah.
But you see, Gabriel looks at you all party. We were all played for fools. But that is not what's important right now. I will try to stop the seals from continuing to break. We still have 6 more. But, and he looks at all of you, that is not the problem. Azrael contacted Valka not on Heaven's behalf, but on the Aesir.
I was told by Flig that the best we could do was delay the end, not stop it.
The Aesir are not all of accord. We did not anticipate that the other gods of Dromore would try to both prevent the apocalypse, but hasten it for their own gain. Every pantheon is trying to both save and destroy the world. And we don't have time to stop them. That's where we're going to end tonight's session, as there's a lot to cover next time as we begin our second big arc. Thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you, of course, to our wonderful guest star who had to go. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.